think the significance would be of Cincinnati pulling off the upset and validating their spot in the playoffs?
Yeah, well, we had Sean Kelly, who's on ESPN radio for The Call, on Bart and Hahn yesterday afternoon, and we were talking about that phrase, David versus Goliath, and we can turn it into a really fun drinking game tonight because you know how many times that this thing is going to be mentioned. It's going to be pretty interesting. You might be pretty buzzed after that and celebrating your new year that way. But no, I mean, it would be incredibly significant because you have Alabama. And you know what happens every year when we get to the stage, even if it is a quote-unquote down year for this Alabama offense. They might not be as explosive as they've been in previous years, which is absolutely wild to think about. I remember that Arkansas game where Bryce Young set the single-game passing record at Alabama, a game where their defense also gave up a bunch of yards to Arkansas. And we're still talking about this Alabama offense just doesn't have it. The run game isn't as good as in previous years. They're averaging 4.1 yards per carry. Like, we get so caught up in, if it's not the Alabama of old that's steamrolling teams just because they lost to Texas A&M earlier this year, and like you said, Auburn took them to 4 overtimes. Like, there's so much nuance in that conversation that I think is overlooked here. But by and large, I mean, of course, it'd be huge if Cincinnati's able to pull off the upset win here over the Crimson Tide because it's SEC versus Cincinnati, the first non-Power 5 team that was able to get into the college football playoff. Like, they could do something that no other team of their stature has been able to do before. So, of course, history books will be talking about 1 versus 4, Cincinnati slaying the dragon that is another reference that we could probably have a drinking game out of. That would be Alabama. But it would change the conversation, I think, of what happens when we get to January, where we see teams go through the regular season, have awesome years, and then they get pitted against Alabama. And what typically happens? They get blown out. Like, the games are not fun. They're boring at that point in the national championship. You can't just write Alabama's ticket to the national title this year, I think, because of the other teams that are a part of this picture. And honestly, I hope that we're not just going to be upset again with, the same rhetoric playing out all week long. Like, yeah, Cincinnati has a chance. All these other teams we've talked about in the college football playoff era, we're kind of in that same category.
Yeah, I think this is something of a tipping point for college football tonight because there have been previous teams, whether it was UCF just a couple of years ago, who claimed their own national championship even if they didn't make it into the college football playoff. And there will be more examples like Cincinnati and UCF going forward. Cincinnati's the first that actually got a ticket to the dance. If they win tonight, then the committee has no choice but to be that much more mindful of UCF's of the future, of Cincinnati's of the future. If this is not a close game tonight, then Cincinnati and future versions of Cincinnati may have no chance, right? Like, we could have a conversation where rather than the committee turning to an undefeated Cincinnati team as the 4th spot in tonight's college football playoff, instead it would be Ohio State, who, even though they lost to Michigan late in the season, was throughout the year considered one of the 4 best teams. Maybe they get a ticket back into the dance with 2 losses and no conference championship. So it feels like a significant moment for not just Cincinnati, but the sport at large. And of course, a big part of Cincinnati's success is their quarterback, Desmond Ridder, who's going to play on Sundays next season. But Cincinnati is hoping Desmond Ridder can get in the zone early, and Get in the Zone is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. I thought that it was interesting to look at ESPN.com's rankings of the top 25 players in the college football playoff. And look at all 4 of those rosters and said, how many from each roster make the top 25? And Cincinnati actually has 4 of those top 25 players, Courtney. And you and I, again, normally make our bones on Sundays when we are watching football games at NFL stadiums. And I think Desmond Ridder's got a chance tonight to really stamp his mark because we're now about to turn the page into the draft season.
Yes.
And Desmond Ridder has a chance tonight on the biggest stage in college football, or I suppose the second biggest stage other than the national championship, to prove he is the best quarterback in this class. What a moment for him ahead.
Yeah, I mean, think about the decision for him to come back and all of that's paid off because the quarterback class that he's a part of this year, vastly different than the one that he would have been a part of last year had he left. So, 30 touchdowns, 3,190 yards, just 8 interceptions this season. Those are really good numbers, and it gives him a chance now to cement himself on the biggest stage. Like, Think about Justin Jefferson, for example, and what he did in the college football playoff in the 2019 season, where he's setting bowl game records, having an unbelievable season. Like, he jumped his stock, and granted, he's a receiver, not a quarterback, but he jumped his draft stock from being a second-round pick because everybody thought, oh, he can't play outside the slot, to being the 5th receiver taken and the best receiver, as we found out in 2020, the NFL season. The best receiver in that class. You can do so much for yourself as far as improving your potential, your future earnings, where you go in the draft, by what you do in these college football playoff semifinal games. In Field, if he got into the national championship, from the story itself, a 13-0 record this season, the only undefeated team left in this field, and if he even got to the national championship, I think that maybe he's a first-round pick. What do you think?
Yeah, he'll be a first-round pick if they make it to the national championship. Maybe if they don't as well, by the way. ESPN's Todd McShay and also Mel Kiper Jr. have talked about him as a top 32 player in this year's draft. Mel's especially bullish on Desmond Ridder. But tonight is one of those moments that just sort of solidifies his stock that much further. As you mentioned, Justin Jefferson, he only had 14 catches and 4 touchdowns in that college football playoff semifinal against Oklahoma a couple of years ago. And a reminder that if you're figuring out or trying to figure out how you're going to shape your day up to watch or listen to the games here, here's the good news. The college football playoff is indeed here. And tune in today for the college football semifinals, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, followed by the Capital One Orange Bowl, and coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. So,
thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.